All right, everybody, welcome to the Work Hard, Play Hard podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Harding, and I got Chris Mickelsen here with me, and he's the #1 agent in Utah County right now. So at least that's word on the streets. We're going to take it. So he's having a good year. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into real estate. Let's start there.
Yeah, you bet. I started in real estate in January of 2013.
Okay.
And mostly got in because I was sick of travel. Like I was doing business-to-business sales.
Sure.
I was over an international program, traveling half the month, every single month, and just thought, man, real estate's got to be easier than this. And I've learned the opposite the last few years, but that's how I got in. Got in because my father-in-law is a real estate broker and developer, and thought he can teach me the ropes. He's been pretty successful, and I learned real quick that that's not how he does things. He just kind of throws you to the wolves and lets you figure it out.
And you figured it out.
I'm figuring it out.
You're figuring it out.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing it now for then?
2013.
Okay.
Yeah, January of 2013.
Okay, so 9 years now.
So a little while.
Yeah.
2012. I can't remember.
Yeah. Okay.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah. Okay, so good amount of time.
Yeah.
Or I guess 11 years. Sorry, I went the opposite direction. But good amount of time. And Pine View Realty, so that's where you're at, right?
Pine Valley Realty.
Pine Valley. Okay.
Yep.
And
so we're in Alpine. Pine Valley's been in Alpine for 40 years.
Okay.
So we've got a pretty good foothold in Alpine. And when I run the numbers every January for the year before, nobody's sold more than us as far back as I can search. So we've got a pretty good foothold, and I'm just looking to kind of increase that market share a little bit more every year, which is happening slowly.
Okay. And what obviously you've done the grind, you hit the ground, I guess like you said, deep into the pool kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Just, going into it, right? How is the last, decade been for you, I guess, as far as like what do you contribute some of your success to? What have you learned? Let's talk about that last 10 years before we go into kind of where you're at now.
Yeah, that's a good question. When I started, it was more of I'm going to sit in the office. I'm going to try and learn from all these people in my office that have been around for 20 plus years in real estate, because my office is pretty seasoned. Yeah. And listen. I just want to listen to what they say and how they describe things and how they sell real estate, basically. Sure. And so for the first couple of years, probably the first 3 years, I sat in the office and I answered the phone. Okay. And the first year in real estate, I was runner-up for Rookie of the Year.
Nice.
And that was basically just because I sat in the office and answered the phone. Okay. From people driving through Alpine, looking at our lot listings, because they wouldn't put them on the multiple listing. They only put our office phone number. Okay. So I would answer the phone, and I sold lots that year, and that's pretty much all I did. Wow. Sold a couple of homes, like friends and family, and that was it. But ended up being an okay first year, and then after that, I kind of just started working my sphere of influence, trying to get everybody that I knew to just see that I was in real estate, and there was just a lot of trial and error, but most of it's been social media, and I learned how to run specific ads to just people that I knew, and then they changed algorithms, so it was like relearning everything, and that's kind of how it's been like the story of the last 11 years or so is kind of this works, and then it doesn't. Now you got to find the next thing, and so that's where we're at today. We're just kind of on to the next thing.
Okay. Well, so you mentioned social media. Let's talk about that for a second. So, you got some really cool videos, right? I think of the you driving down the road and stuff like that. It's a recent one I've seen and stuff like that. But so tell me, because obviously social media itself has changed over the last decade, right? TikTok didn't exist. Instagram was still early, but now those things are really starting to kind of, they're part of life, right? So tell me how that's changed, and then tell me why or how that's helping your business now, I guess.
Yeah, I started everything on Facebook. Okay. And at the time, that's kind of where everything was. And I'm slow to adopt. And so it took me a while to get the Instagram thing. And then I felt like that started to pick up steam, and then it slowed down. All their stuff changed, and now it's TikTok. And I don't know that I'd say I'm quite onto the the TikTok train yet.
Sure. Yeah.
But I'm trying. But yeah, I mean, for me, I feel like it's just being out there and reminding people like, hey, this is what I do. And, you know, we do a pretty good job, I think. And it's just constantly reminding them that. And these videos more for me are more to just highlight the things that we do. And, you know, we just did a video on this little home in Orem that's in the 1960s and has maroon carpet. And I just think, how many other agents are going to do a video and spend the time and money on something like that? Yeah. But that's kind of the brand that I want to make is we do full service on everything we do. And, you know, we're going to give our all to every single type of property, from the one that we just listed in Alpine, just under $3 million, to the one we listed in Orem at $500,000. So, you know, that's my push, is just making it consistent across the board and showing that we give everything to every single listing.
Love it. Yeah. Well, and so are you getting a good amount of business directly from social media, or is it more people that already know you and like you, that's a way to stay in front of them?
So I feel like social media is really difficult to track how successful it is, right? Yeah. And the way I'm kind of tracking it is basically what people say to me. Okay. And it's pretty consistent that somebody in my neighborhood or somebody that I know from somewhere else says, oh, I saw that video you did. Or another agent says, oh, hey, that video you guys did was pretty cool. Or that car that was in the video. So that's how I'm tracking it. It's so difficult to really know how much success I'm having there. But I feel like it's helping just based on comments I'm getting and people that are saying stuff about it to me personally. So
gotcha. So hard to say this deal came from this, you know, this video. Yeah. Or from me doing videos in general. But the general feeling you're getting is it is working.
Yeah, and I'm terrible at asking, you know, people that contact me out of the blue, how did you find me? Mm-hmm. I'm really bad at that. I'm trying to get better at it, but they, you know, I've had a couple of people outside of my referral network that have come to me lately, and I asked them, you know, how do you find me? And, you know, one of them just did a search with somebody they knew that had access to the multiple listing and saw I popped up pretty high in what I've done this year. So luckily this year's been a good year, and that's how they found me.
Gotcha. Hey, want to work with a top agent? I'm at the top? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And that's not going to be the case every year, but hey, this year it worked out well.
Yeah. Okay. So. And a lot of your videos are more along the, you know, so the fun line, right? You know, kind of having fun with it and stuff like that. Yeah. Where do you get some of your ideas for those?
The production team.
Okay.
I mean, they give a lot of good ideas. So, but yeah, I mean, I want the videos to kind of show my personality. Okay. I'm not the suit and tie realtor. Sure. You know, I've tried that out. I'm not comfortable that way, and I want to show up and be authentic, and I want people to know that's how I am every single day. Yeah. You know, and there's some days I'm going to show up wearing a baseball hat. You know, I coach baseball. I'm going to be authentic, and you know, some people don't like that, but I want personality to come through on the videos, and people see how I really am day to day, and I try and kind of pull that into videos. Yeah. Sometimes it's a little uncomfortable, but I'm getting more comfortable with being in front of the camera, even though I don't like it at all.
Yeah, but practice makes perfect, I guess, right?
Hopefully. We'll see. Ask me in a few years.
Well, as you keep doing it and stuff. So tell me then, you know, as far as buyers, listings, you know, do you focus on one? I mean, obviously we've talked about a couple listings that you have and stuff like that, but those for the videos. I'm not sure what kind of videos you do with the buyer, I guess, right? But like, do you cater to one? You're open to working with everybody?
Yeah, no, I'm open to everybody. This year I've been heavy listing side. Okay. I feel like it ebbs and flows every year, but usually I'm about 50-50. Okay. So I like the buyer side. There's some really fun pieces to that. The listing side is a whole different ballgame. I mean, that's how you live and die in real estate, right? And so that's what you really want. And that's where my big focus has been the last probably 2 years. Okay. With things slowing down in real estate, you know, I want to be listing heavy. Sure. Because that's where your name's out all the time, constantly.
Yeah, people see you.
But it is fun to work with buyers. I mean, I've had a couple of first-time home buyers lately that, you know, haven't done the first-time home buyer thing in a little while. Yeah. And it's fun because you get to see a different excitement than the people who have bought 3 or 4 or 5 houses, or some investors that just don't even look at the house, they just write an offer. So it's been fun.
I found a lot of fun with the first time home buyers because you're actually able to teach them something, right? And they want to learn, and they're excited about it, to your point, right? Some of these things. So
yeah, they listen to everything you say.
Yeah.
For some of these kind of more seasoned buyers,
yeah, they already know it all, so they
already
need
know.
that.
They don't.
Yeah,
You're just the vehicle to get
Correct.
To the house, which is good.
Sure.
But yeah, it's kind of more fun to be a little more involved with helping educate and teach them and see how it all works.
Yeah. Going back to buyers, I guess, have you seen any, or have you had have conversations about this recent NAR settlement? Have people brought that up, or nothing really yet on that?
Yeah, no. A lot of conversations about it, actually.
Okay.
I've been kind of surprised because I feel like, those of us that are in the real estate industry are watching it pretty close and pretty familiar with it. And I kind of thought people who aren't involved in it
Weren't.
it's just going to kind of blow over and no one's going to care. But I have had a lot of questions about it. I'm just doing business.
Yep.
And whatever happens, happens. Like, we're just going to roll with it. There's
Sure.
nothing we can do about it. So let's just roll with it. I think what's going to happen is agents are going to have to get really good at educating people on the changes and how it works and how it's worked in the past.
Yep.
We're going to see some hiccups, I think, in the first little bit, but I'm not worried about it. I think it's going to be business as usual, and you're going to find a way to show your value. And if you can't do that, then that's where agents will struggle. But I think if you can provide your value and show people, why they need you,
Sure.
you're going to be in business for a long, long time.
Good. So a lot of conversations, but
Yeah.
but still, I mean, obviously it's new, right? It's and technically not even here yet, I guess, right? As far as the settlement goes, but
So a person I follow on social media that's pretty involved in all of it said that it looks like they won't, really approve it until later this year, like November timeframe.
okay, so they're pushing.
But
Okay.
all of the effects from it, so the buyer agency agreements and the commissions and everything, will go into effect in July, is what I've heard last. So we'll see what happens. It's going to come down to educating, helping people, see what's changing and why it's changing. And
Sure. Okay. Okay. Talk to me about, so obviously your father-in-law is still the broker,
Yeah.
right? He getting close to retiring and stuff like that, I guess, maybe.
So we had somebody call the other day and say they heard he was retiring, and he laughed about it because he's like, I've never said that.
Gotcha.
He loves what he does. I don't see him retiring. I think he turns 72 or 3 this next month.
So he's enjoying it.
Yeah, he's enjoying it. He's got a couple big developments he's doing right now that I would guess have 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
So maybe after that, I don't know. But he loves it. He's involved in the day-to-day. He's, in the office and having fun with it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he'll do.
Well, and I guess where I'm going with that question is, as far as recruiting and stuff like that, is your company recruiting right now? Looking for more realtors and stuff like that. Tell me, I guess, a little bit about the company and kind of the future of the company, I guess, because you mentioned there's a lot of older guys there, right?
Yeah.
And so tell me where the company's going.
So yeah, Pine Valley's been around for 40-something years, and our demographic of agents are on the more seasoned side, and I think they're anywhere from 2 to 10 years out from kind of not doing the day-to-day real estate thing.
Sure.
So I'm looking at it thinking, how can we make sure Pine Valley is around for another 40 years?
Sure. Yeah.
And to me, that means we got to have some new blood.
Yeah.
And so I am trying to get out there on, in my free time.
Yeah.
To find good agents that we can bring over to Pine Valley. We're a unique brokerage. I would say we're a boutique brokerage.
Okay.
We've got a really good foothold in the Alpine market. And as that grows, we continue to grow, but I want agents that can kind of work all of North Utah County and that have some experience, but that we don't have to hold their hand either. I want people to come in and grind it out. Gotcha. Like the rest of us have. And we're happy to help and push and do marketing and that kind of stuff. And I'm trying to find people to help us with that side of the business so that we can provide value to agents.
Sure.
But yeah, that's a tough, you have a lot of stiff competition trying to recruit people, and
a lot of good companies.
We've never really done it.
Yeah.
So it's it's figuring that out, and what do we offer and how do we offer it and how do we compare. It's kind of the the dance that I'm doing right now, trying to figure that out.
Gotcha. Which, I guess hopefully, that goes well for you, I guess, with things. So
yeah, we'll see.
I think what you have going for you is you're like you said, you're an established company. You're very good. People know you, especially in that area, right? And so I think that's what those new agents would be walking into, is that kind of thing. But then again, leads and stuff like that, I guess, obviously those are probably, spoken for, I guess, in some ways, but maybe there's room for more. I don't know. I mean, just brainstorming with you, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, most of our leads come from our development projects.
Okay.
And so if an agent's willing to hang out in the office and take calls, I mean, it's our office number that's on all our signs.
Sure.
So there's a good little niche there. And, I think everybody comes to Pine Valley wanting to get into the Alpine market.
Sure.
But that's a market that takes some time to build trust in and get a foothold into. But if you can, it's a pretty awesome market to be in.
Sure.
It's a top zip code outside of Park City.
Yeah.
As far as price goes. So
yeah.
There's a lot of really good business there. And in the last few years since COVID, I'm tracking like the 3 million plus.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of sales in that 3 million plus range.
Wow.
Like 90% of all 3 million plus have happened since COVID, compared to the previous years dating back into the early 90s.
Wow.
When the multiple listing, started tracking that stuff. So there's a lot of good stuff happening in Alpine and North Utah County, and we're getting into that luxury market. So there's a lot of good things that are going to happen there in the next 10 years, I think.
Good. Okay. You mentioned developments too. So tell me about what developments do you guys have going on right now?
So our office is doing a really big development right next to Fox Hollow Golf Course in American Fork.
Okay.
It's called The Bridges.
Okay.
And it's going to be a really cool development right there between the park, Art Dye Park, and the golf course. It's going to have a no maintenance section that's going to be kind of cottage style homes. Okay. They're really nice homes, like very high end.
Yeah.
They're going to start just under $1 million.
Okay.
All the way to some estate lots. They're half acre lots. Those are going to be a fairly custom home. I wouldn't say fully custom, but they're going to be nice. They're going to probably start 1.5.
Okay.
Is where they're saying.
Yeah.
So that's a 3 to 5 year project at this point, but they just started moving dirt. They're putting roads in here soon for that first phase. But yeah, it'll be a really beautiful project.
Yeah. So high-end homes then, I guess, more expensive, I guess.
Yeah, kind of that cottage section is geared more towards maybe somebody who lives in Alpine or Highland, empty nester, wanting less maintenance, wants to travel and not have to worry about such a big house.
So not necessarily 55 plus community kind of thing, but kind of also, I guess.
Probably geared toward that 55 plus, but isn't a 55 plus.
Yeah, you're not calling it that.
Yeah, but they're really nice. They're beautiful. I mean, the renderings are awesome. The finishes are amazing.
Nice.
So it's a really nice project.
Okay, and that'll be up and running. Like, can people put money down now on it or no?
They can do reservations right now. They'll start digging holes later this month. The first part of next month is the last I heard. Okay. So hopefully that first phase of those no maintenance homes will kind of have something people can walk through by the end of the summer or first part of fall.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so
Yeah, but it's a pretty awesome project.
And is that the only one you got going on?
We have a townhome project in Tooele that is up and running. We're working with FHA right now to get funding for that. Okay. So I'm hoping we have that in the next month. But that's a really good project if you have people out in Tooele. Good prices. I mean, they start in the low 300s. They're over 2,000 square feet. They're built by really good builders. We didn't use junky materials. We did really good stuff throughout these places, and it shows. Everybody who's walked through them has said these are really nice for the price.
Good.
Other developments, we have a few little things, a little neighborhood in Pleasant Grove that they're working on. They kind of just are random here and there, but.
And are these with specific builders, or is it bring your own builder, or is it multiple builders in these?
Yeah. So Tooele is a couple of different builders that are doing those for us, and then in the Bridges in American Fork, there's one builder who's doing all of those, and then they may sell off a couple of lots here and there that you can bring your own builder. There'll be a premium on those lots.
Sure.
And then Pleasant Grove is a specific builder as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Tell me about, I know you do different trips and stuff like that, right? With, kind of giving back. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so in 2009, we took a trip to Guatemala with the idea of there's just a lot of people in need. Let's just figure out ways to help them. And it went from building, stoves they could cook with to helping do their roof. And now it's full-blown houses. Okay. So we have guys in Guatemala that help us, and they find the different people. They meet with the cities. They get everything organized kind of all year long. And we go down for a week every year, anywhere from 20 to 30 of us, and we'll build around 25 houses. Wow. So they're not anything crazy. They're about 16 by 14, cement floors, cinder block walls about 4 feet up, and then we frame them, put metal around or wood around, and then a metal roof. And it's a pretty awesome project. We have just so many people that have gotten involved over the years now that we have a pretty awesome group that goes down every year with us and spends their time, their money to get there, to stay there, to feed themselves. And then we have some pretty awesome guys who donate to build the houses.
So talk to me about the logistics of that, I guess. So like, is that something that your company funds? Is that donations, like you said, you're getting people in, and then do you have the supplies ready there when you get there because they've already been bought by people? I'm just kind of curious a little bit. Like if somebody wanted to do this, right? Because this is a very good thing that you're doing. Give me some of those other logistics.
Yeah, so we do the live nativity in Alpine every year. It's in November for a few nights, and there's a cost to go to that nativity, and we take that, and it gets split between two different groups, one of which is our group that does Guatemala. So that pays a good chunk of all the houses. And then we have like Gerber Construction donates for our cement floors. Then we just have some different guys just in the area that will donate every year for the cause. And then our broker, Will, donates everything else to the cause. And then everybody who goes pays their own way. But our guys in Guatemala, they do all the heavy lifting. They're the ones who are finding everybody and kind of organizing that side of it. And then on this side, I organize the group that's going down and kind of help everybody get there. And then I hand it off once we're there.
Gotcha. And is this a work thing? Is it only employees, or is this, are you kind of more of a community thing, church thing? And how many people go?
Yeah, it kind of started out as just friends. I think there were 6 or 7 of us that just were buddies and decided to go down there.
Yeah.
And now it's like friends of friends of friends.
Okay.
And so we've kind of built this big network of different people. And the really cool thing is, I didn't know a lot of them before this trip. The majority. Yeah. And now we kind of have this family that we've built around this trip. And there's been 2 guys in the last couple of years that have had pretty serious accidents that they should have died.
Oh, wow.
And it's been pretty cool to see like this community of people that have just come from this trip kind of gather around and help, from tearing out bathrooms to make them handicap accessible because one of the guys was in a wheelchair for a while, to just donations to helping them get through some of these medical issues. But yeah, this just friend to friend to friend has just grown to be a pretty significant group. Yeah. So now we don't take more than about 25 people anymore. Okay. Just because it's a lot of people to take down there. And so I cap it out at 25. Okay. But we've got probably 40 or 50 that want to go all the time. Wow. And it just keeps getting bigger. So we're trying to figure out how do we involve everybody and keep the group growing. But there's only so much money to go around. Sure. So building 25 homes at $3,000 a piece is pretty significant. Yeah. We've done 2 trips a year, but you can only do that so much when you're doing that many homes. Yeah, unless you want to bring this into a full-fledged charitable organization, I guess, right? Just depends on how much you want to spend on this time. And we do have a charitable organization if people want to donate. It's it's all legitimate that way, and it's just there's a lot of people that want to go. There's a lot of work that we've done, and we're trying to figure out the balance of how many people can we take and how many homes can we afford to do? And
Sure.
It's challenging. We wish we could do a lot more, but
yeah.
you have to focus on work and family and everything else too, right?
Sure. And have you ever thought about different areas, or do you like Guatemala? I mean, you already have it out set up. You have the people on the ground, right? That's probably, you'd have to find new people on the ground that could help you, and that would be.
Yeah, that's the more challenging part. Is we have a really good group in Guatemala that helps us.
Gotcha.
Throughout the year.
Sure.
They're the ones finding people and meeting with the cities, and down there they have somebody who usually works with the city that's in charge of finding people that are kind of in really bad poverty situations. And so, yeah, we want to go other places, but it's really difficult to kind of get that side of it figured out with somebody you can trust, because we have to send them money to do this, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
And if you don't have somebody you can trust, that gets really difficult.
Sure. You got to make sure that money goes to where it's supposed to go.
Oh, yeah. Especially in that part of the world, it's really difficult we used to bring money down and have to exchange it in all these different places. But there's all sorts of laws now about how much you can exchange. And so we've got to kind of figure that out as it's gone too.
Interesting.
But yeah, we've got it figured out for right now until they change it.
Just like social media.
Yeah, right. So, get used to change, right?
Just get used to change. Well, that's awesome. I think you're doing something that, all of us, that have had success in life, how do we give back, or how do we help other people, right? There's always that kind of desire to, I don't want to just make money in this world, right? You know, and I think that's awesome that you guys are doing that. Sounds like it's going well. Sounds like you're making a difference. And you've been doing it for how many years again?
We started in 2009.
Okay, wow, that's a long time.
Yeah. I've never done the math on how many homes we've done, but
that's a good amount if you're doing 25 to 30.
Yeah, we've done 25 for the last probably 10 years or so.
Okay, that's
and
a lot of houses.
Some years we've done twice a year. So
same like subdivision area, or just different parts of?
We have gone all over Guatemala.
Okay,
we've kind of been everywhere.
Wow.
So yeah, we've gone everywhere.
It's awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
Well, good job. Have we hit everything that we wanted to hit? Is there anything that I haven't asked about that you were like, hey, I want to tell you about this, that we got going on, or
Yeah, no, I think we got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we covered a lot of ground.
We covered a lot of ground. Obviously, you're doing well. Happy for you. I guess the last question would just be on, right now, obviously things are. What do you contribute a lot of your success to, or is it just, the culmination of, hey, I've been working hard for 10 plus years, and this is just the fruits of my labor, or is there anything in particular that you'd say, hey, I can contribute my success to this or that?
That's a good question. Well, I've just tried to be consistent on a couple different levels. Okay. Just consistent in being in front of people and letting them know what I do.
Sure.
Being consistent and being, authentic about it.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you get when you work with me, and trying to be consistent in, being fair and honest with the people you're working with.
Yep.
And that's where I get referrals from.
Sure.
So, I like to take care of people and make sure that they know I'm in it for them. And
sure.
And that's what it comes down to, right? In real estate is, I figure if they feel like I'm taking care of them, they're always going to use me.
Sure.
Because they're going to trust me. And so that's what I try and do. I try and do my best at that, is make sure everyone feels like I got everything from Chris that I wanted and needed. And
sure. I
feel like that will keep bringing business.
Sure. And
so far, so good. I mean, I've built a pretty good book of business, and I'll cross my fingers that continues that way. But, we'll just keep grinding. That's real estate. I don't feel like you ever can stop the grind.
And frankly, that's probably part of life. You're always having to work hard, in life, right? I mean, things are always changing. The world's constantly changing.
Yep.
And so you're at the top for a little bit.
Yeah.
But to maintain that top, because there's always somebody else, hungrier or better or smarter, and not that
There's always somebody who's going to work harder than you.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to just keep up with that. But
sure.
I like to play hard too. So
there you go.
We work hard, we play hard, and I'm right there with the rest of them that want to be out there having fun too.
Yeah.
So
well, there is balance, right? You gotta But to play hard, you have to work hard, right? You got to put in the time, and so you got to make that happen. So, okay, awesome. Well, thanks, Chris. Thanks for coming on.
No, thank you. That was awesome.
Yeah, appreciate you on here, and thanks everybody else for listening. And like us on our social media platforms, and we'll see you next week.